A weathered overlay is a text effect that we place over the top of a graphic. And in the olden days, you would have to take a screen printed t-shirt and wash it 100 times to get this effect. But now we can replicate this effect digitally. And that's what this new feature in GraphicsFlow is all about. You see, I've logged into my GraphicsFlow account. I'm just going to click on a file that has an overlay in it. But if I click on this graphic right here, you can see it has that weathered effect that's built into the graphic. And that's what creates the overlay. And typically, those are created one of two ways. They're created utilizing a bitmap file that rests over the top, or in some cases, a vector file. And when we create these, we do some pretty innovative things. We shoot organic objects with a high-resolution digital camera. Then we take that file and we actually bring it into Photoshop, and we convert these into 1-bit bitmaps. The 1-bit bitmap has two properties. It is black and it is white. And one of the unique properties of a program like Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW is if you have a 1-bit bitmap, you can assign colors to the black portion and the white portion. And so when we created this graphic, we just have this bitmap sitting over the top of the graphic, and that's what's creating the weathered effect. And the weathered effect, instead of having to wash the shirt 100 times, is something that's built into the graphic. If I scroll down here and I find a graphic, and let's say this graphic right here. When we created this graphic, we created a weathered effect, created that 1-bit bitmap. And then when we concluded the graphic, what we did as the very last step is we placed the bitmap over the top of the graphic. And the bitmap's in the form of a square or rectangle. So it's actually going outside these boundaries. If I go to click on Customize, you're going to notice a couple changes in GraphicsFlow. Number one, you have a new way to preview the background. So you have a light, dark preview. So if you have white in the graphic, or maybe you're not sure it's white, you can now just shuttle the view onto a view that's light or dark. So that's the first thing. Prior to the update, in the previous version of GraphicsFlow, the weathered overlay or any element of a design template that had a bitmap in it that was formed by pixels would not be viewable. And so what we did is we now are able to view those elements, and we're able to change the preview so you can kind of see what's going on, and we can turn them on or off. You're maybe just doing solid color screen printing, or maybe you're going to use this graphic as the basis for doing an embroidery design or a patch or an applique. You no longer have to take it into a CorelDRAW or an Adobe Illustrator or whatever graphics program you're using. Maybe you're using a freeware program like Inkscape or Affinity Designer. You don't have to bring these files into that program any longer to turn off the overlay. And I have my file here, and I have my weathered overlay, and I can turn it on or off. So I've got it currently turned off. And when I download this file, the weathered overlay is not going to be there. Now we have this file, but I want to replace the overlay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here where it says Edit next to the overlay. I'm going to select Edit, and I'm going to select Replace Clip Art. So I'm going to replace it. And guess what I'm going to type in to find an overlay? How about the word overlay? So I'm going to come over here and pull up a new overlay, and maybe I want to do, like this paint splatter thing that's going on in here. Let's do this one right here. So now we're replacing the existing overlay with this one. Now bear in mind, it's going to come in colored, so we need to recolor it. So I'm going to hit Apply. And then where the coloring is, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to color this in to the white, which is the same color that's in the graphic. So now I've colored it in as white. We have our overlay. Now bear in mind, I'm going to turn on the dark preview. You still see that blob there, so it's still sitting over the top. But I'm going to click on Apply now to apply that. And then, we can just save the changes here. I'll just save this, and I'm going to not choose to update the original. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a new customized design. Now I have two versions. So I'm going to save this as a new customized design, and then I'm going to download this, save design, and then I'll download either a PDF if I'm going into Illustrator, CDR for going into Corel. And we'll see if we can find another one. Yeah, here's one. And let's go to Customize. Here's your overlay right here. And again, just to recap, turn it off. You don't want it, you don't have to have it. If you want to make it a different color because you're going to mask it out in Illustrator or CorelDRAW, then you can go colorize that layer. Just go and make it maybe an off-white. It is separated out as a different color when you go into Illustrator. It's got enough contrast that you can kind of see that it's not white. So again, why did I do that? So I can keep the white in the graphic when I mask it out because the overlay color is now different than a color in the graphic. There is the new overlays feature to GraphicsFlow. This will be live in your account